Hey guys, Dr. Dex here. Welcome to the Dr. Dex podcast. My name is Jason Russell. I'm also known as Dr. Dex. My cohort, which you can't see, Studio Man, DJ Studio Man. Give him a follow on Instagram and TikTok. And our guest today is an awesome innovator in our industry, Mrs. Lainie Slevin. Did I pronounce that right?
You did. You got it right.
All right. Lainie Slevin, she's been an anchor in our industry for decades. And I just want to say thank you so much, Lainie. First of all, just for being on our podcast. Second, because we're trying to get as many females on our podcast as we can. And anytime we get somebody with the experience level that you have, it's really a treat. So tell us a little bit about you, and don't get into deep about any particular thing, but give us an introduction of Lainie Slevin.
Sure. And the one thing that I wanted to identify, Jason, is this is such a cool opportunity. I listened to the episode before with Jason Varney from Docs and Dex, and I work for Dex and Docs.
I know, right?
So I was like, wow, the connection right here is totally cool. We couldn't have planned this any better. So really humbled and excited that you asked me to be on this podcast. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to share a little bit about my story and tell you, what built me up to where I am in my career today. So
awesome.
Yeah, so let me know where you want to start or what you want me to go into, and I can give you all the dirt that you need.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I like to do, and it seems like a lot of our listeners kind of enjoy is like, let's hit the rewind button. I want to hear your entire story, so we always like to start with, your upbringing, growing up, and that kind of thing. But before we do, where are you currently?
So currently I live in northern New Jersey in the Lake Hopatcong area, right outside the lake. I can walk to it. Similar to Jason Varney as well, I'm an avid boater. I love being out on lakes. I actually did have the pleasant treat of getting out on his boat in the Tennessee River, which was very cool because I just love boating and I love water sports.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, that's awesome. I grew up with water sports as well. We were so into it. We went to Mike Siderhout's water ski camp one year on Lake Shasta.
Wow.
California.
How cool.
Which, if you don't, maybe that name isn't as impressive as it used to be, or maybe many people don't know who he is. But he I don't think he's current, but he used to hold the world record for slalom skiing.
Wow. Okay.
And he assembled a bunch of instructors that would teach all the water sports, slalom, jumping, tricks, barefoot, all of it. And they had, back in the day, the Ski Supreme, man. That was the boat. And they had like 3 of those. And all you did 6 times a day was ski.
Doesn't sound like a bad life.
You'd ski so much, you'd rip the calluses off of your hands. And then we'd cut up an old wetsuit and we put it inside our ski gloves so that we could hit it.
Exactly.
So do you have a boat now?
I actually just sold my Mastercraft this summer. I'm looking at another boat. The lake is, it's a public lake. So on the weekends, it's not really designed for a low riding ski boat, is what I learned in the last couple of years owning it.
Yeah, the rollers are going to get you, huh?
Yeah, to say the least.
Bummer.
I know.
That's really cool. We'll get into that a little bit more.
Sure.
But okay, so where did you grow up?
So I actually grew up in Queens, in Whitestone, New York, on 166th Street. And for those that probably have no idea, I grew up taking the city bus to elementary school. So public transportation was taking the city bus. Yes, I went to PS 193Q, Q for Queens. So that's really where I grew up. And here's the fun part of my story that you probably don't know much about is, so my grandparents had a house up on Lake Hopatcong. And so in the summers, we would all go up as a family to Lake Hopatcong and go out on the Sea Ray and enjoy the water sports of Lake Hopatcong. And so that's
Hmm.
what we did on the weekends. And so when I was about 10, we moved up to New Jersey, Lake Hopatcong full time and left that New York lifestyle behind.
Okay. All right. So public transportation on a bus. So did you have some kind of a pass or something that you just used like to come and go as you chose, or?
You know what? I probably blocked most of it out. It was pretty scary as a little kid.
Yeah, I could imagine, and that's why I'm asking. And if you don't want to chat about it, that's cool too. Like, it's like if anything's off limits, man, we'll just and Calvin will edit that out. That's why we have an editor
Right, right, right.
with us. You know, he's so good at all that stuff. But yeah, I could imagine. At 10 years old, like, all right, here's your well, either you're using change or
Yeah,
whatever to pay for the bus, or I don't even, I'm kind of out of touch with that right now. Like, I used to take the bus in my junior high
right.
and junior high years before I got a car. And it was always throwing change into a bin, and then they
Hmm.
would count the change and dump it. And then
Right.
the next person would throw their change in, and so on and so forth. And then you could get a transfer, which would allow you to go from bus to bus up to so many times or something like that. But I don't know how it's done nowadays. If like it's all digital or what. But what was it like for you? How did you get around with? Did you have to always carry loose change, or were you like, yeah?
Yeah, I was carrying. I remember putting the change specifically in the container when you got up on the bus. I do remember that. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little fuzzy. Only a few years ago. I mean, you could tell with a
sure.
face like this.
I know. I'm asking a lot of you right now. Your poor brain.
No, it's all good.
But
I'm excited because really,
yeah.
a lot of the podcasts I've done,
Uh-huh.
don't get that deep into the weeds about, what does it look like in Lanie's early life, right? And
Well, I want to know, and things are gonna hit you, so don't ever hesitate to interrupt me because I'm like a dog. I'll squirrel out on you, man, and I'll go right and left really hard. So, um, just give us what you can remember, what you're comfortable with, and that just the public transportation system and having to take that at such a young age. I mean, yeah, that would be intimidating, I think, for any
Mhm.
10-year-old to be doing that, and because you get a little bit of everything on a public bus, man. You get the crazies, the drug addicts, you get, the religious, and everybody is on the bus, getting from point A to point B. And I imagine in a populated area that it just multiplies, it intensifies.
And it
So,
and it wasn't, I mean, we're talking the 70s, right? So the amount of
right,
people wasn't what it is today, right? So,
sure.
not that I mean to date myself, but we're talking the 70s. Things looked a lot
Mhm.
different then.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, I'm with you, girl. I'm right there with you. So okay, but so how you said when you were 10, you guys moved?
around 10, between 10 and 12, somewhere in there,
Okay.
you
And
know.
then did you move onto the lake?
So we moved up to Lake Hopatcong full time. The
Were
place
you
had
on the
rent
water?
on the water, correct. I
Oh
know,
no
I
way.
know.
Oh, that's like my dream. Like when I grew up, it was always about water skiing, man. I mean, we
Right,
snow
me
skied
too.
too. We snow skied too. And then my later adult years, that turned into a stand-up jet ski
Hmm.
affection for me. So what was your favorite thing to do water-wise? Like what was your jam? They didn't have like you didn't surf back then, behind
No.
wakeboard boats and stuff, but what growing up, so from 10 years old, you're out living on the lake,
Yeah.
what was your fun thing to do like on the water?
So I love to swim, right? Um,
Okay.
so when I was younger, when my dad was rebuilding the house, he built a pen actually, like with a floor. It was actually pretty ingenious. I'll give him the credit. It actually had a bottom to it with like wire fence around it, so I could stand in there and swim without really being watched, right? So I wasn't going to drown or anything dramatic was going to happen. So I would love to swim in the pen until I could swim outside the pen. And then,
Sure.
I loved, and then once I got into skiing, I was like, I wanted more. But swimming was
So
really, I loved swimming.
what was your jam as far when you started skiing? Um, I always started on two and then eventually got
Mhm.
into slalom.
So I got into slalom. So I probably started skiing double skis 6, 8 years old. And
Hmm.
then I went to a slalom ski probably around in high school.
Okay.
And that, I mean, so I laugh because so I've become an avid slalom skier again. But
Ah,
But
cool.
what I taught myself back then, Jason, was to pull as hard and splash as many people on their docks as you could, right? And today I'm working on getting around 6 balls, very controlled in a slalom ski course. So I've
Oh,
had to
wow.
undo all those patterns of behavior that I formed at such an early age, right? Because when you're a free flowing skier, it's a lot different than when you get into the course, getting around these 6 little balls that are the challenge of your life.
Yeah, that is you nailed it. She is so right. If you've ever tried to ski a slalom course ever in your life, it is such a rude awakening.
It is.
And it is so friggin' hard. And you got your timing. I didn't realize how much timing had to do with
Mhm.
that. I could never do it. I just wasn't disciplined enough, and I didn't have a boat until I was older in life. But how cool is that? So, what was junior high like for you? So you're living at this lake place. You probably had lots of friends because you lived on a lake.
Yes and no, because don't forget I'm the new kid on the block that moved from New
Okay.
York, and now I'm in a country environment completely from being in New York, right?
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a culture shock. I'm a new kid on the block. You know how young kids are. They kind of like to pick on the new kids, and so I'm not going to tell you it was all beautiful, and we're going
Sure.
to leave the rest of that alone
Okay.
because
Fair
it
enough.
just yeah, it was not an easy time in my life. And
Okay.
I do have a younger sister. She was 6 years younger, so I'd meet her at the school bus and so forth. So it wasn't easy being new.
So when you moved to the lake, you guys were on a school bus instead of having to figure out alternate ways to get to school.
Correct, correct.
And how
Yeah.
far away were you from your school from where you lived?
Mm, 15 minutes, standard school bus ride,
Sure. All right.
to the middle school.
All right. You're painting a great picture here. So in junior high, obviously you're into water sports, which I just have mad respect for. And then were you into academics or anything else in junior high school at all? Or
So I'd rather talk about the water sports. Um,
okay. All right.
so
Cool.
this is kind of what evolutionized, for me in my younger ages was that so I was very much my mother would get mad at me because I keep buying boats for $500 and they would always sink. I was doing a lot of that in like junior high and high school. Like I'd go out and the boat would be under the dock and she'd be
Oh
yelling at
no.
me, right? And this happened like I heard you and Jason talking about all the motorcycles. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about all the boats I bought, right? Because I had a job at Pathmark, I wasn't making a ton of money, but enough to collect to buy these hunk of junk boats that ended up sinking
What?
on me
Okay.
a lot.
What is Pathmark?
So that would be like the food store, right? I was a
Okay.
cashier, and
Okay. And
but
how old are you?
I'm 16, 17, 15,
Okay.
somewhere in there. But I keep buying these hunk of junk boats, and they keep sinking.
So are
But
these all outboards or
they
what?
are all outboards, and yeah, I repeatedly did that, and I remember carrying a bunch of new batteries and spilling the battery acid on myself, and it burning holes through my clothes. My mother's like, "What are you doing?" And that
I'm
was
learning.
yeah, a lot of what I did at a younger age was trial and error with boating. But at the same time, Lake Hopatcong actually had a swim team, and so I
Hmm.
found my love of swimming on a swim team.
Okay.
So in my younger years, forget the academics. I wasn't interested in school. I wanted summer. I wanted to be on a boat. I wanted to be on the swim team. I wanted to be swimming. That was my
All
love.
right.
That was my younger years. And so
Fair
when
enough.
when middle school ended, I was like, huh, I have a decision here to make. And the high school in the town I live in did not have a swim team. And I tell you honestly, Jason, my vision for myself was to be an Olympic swimmer because I loved it that much. And
Wow.
so I actually went to a private school that had a swim team. So, I academics were never really my thing. I mean, I was a social butterfly. I liked being on the
All
swim
right.
team, and I don't know, it was 4
Tell
years of high school, you figure it out as you
Sure.
go.
But tell me more about the swim team. What events did you swim in? What was your best event?
So my best event was the breaststroke. I was a 100-meter breaststroker.
Huh?
And I loved it. And then I did get into longer distances of swimming, like the 100, 200, 400-meter freestyle. And I love to be on relay races if I could. That was more in the summer league because we were on a pretty competitive landscape as far as the high school I went to. So they were very much sports driven.
Okay.
So it was a lot of competition. And I can tell you, like, now at this age, I look back and I say, wow, like swim practices. I swam for Sussex County, the county that I live in. Those practices were 2 hours long. I mean, I don't think I could swim for 20 minutes anymore. Never mind
20.
2 hours.
I don't think I could swim for two.
2
Maybe I could
hours.
float.
I'm like, oh
That's
my God.
insane, man.
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'll shed some additional light on as we go through my story. But today,
hmm
trying to swim with all the muscle, forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to touch on that a little bit because if you've ever met Lanie and shook her hand, the first thing you're going to notice is bodybuilder or something to that tune, like your physique. Now, I honestly, Lanie, do not know a lot about you, so this is going to be interesting as we unfold the layers here. But so far you've got me at the water skiing. And the swimming. That my brother used to be on swim team. So 100 meters, is that 4 laps?
4 laps. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I could do one. I think I'd cramp up and drown.
I think you'd surprise yourself.
No.
Well, we're not going
But
to put it to
but
the
that's
test today.
no, not today.
Not
So
today.
hey, but question. So do you think? Because I mean, obviously, for to swim competitively, you have to have some killer form.
hmm
You've got to every toe, every finger's pointed, every arm stretch and leg kick. So did all of that from younger youth? Does that benefit you somehow in today's society, or like when just for swimming purposes at your age now?
hmm Well, what I can tell you is when I did get into bodybuilding, and not that I want to hit the fast forward button, but
hmm
I mean, I have a tremendous amount of strength in my upper body. I think from all those years of swimming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you were, but we're gonna talk about that. Okay. So you go through high school.
Yep.
So you're swimming competitively.
Correct. At the high school
Okay,
level.
at the high school level,
Yep.
and how did you do
I
as
did
far
all
as that
right.
goes?
Listen, I mean, I'm humble enough to say I'm not great at it, really. Like, I really have to work tremendously hard at anything to get good at it.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not one of
like a
those
lot
people
of us
that's a
have to.
natural athlete. Like, you pick it up and it's like, oh, yes, thank you. No, it's diligence and grit and practice.
Okay. And were you still water skiing in high school?
Yeah, as much as I could, haphazardly, but you're young and you're crazy, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going out doing my thing with the boys in the neighborhood, and
Sure.
hey, pick me up, let's get a set in, and whatever we could do, we did.
We used to scream at any slalom skier ever. Like if we're just sitting in the boat and somebody's skiing past us, we're screaming,
Uh-huh.
"Lay down, lay down, lay down." We want to see your shoulder in the water, man.
I know,
Um,
I know.
so what we did you have a boat then too through high school?
And then let's see, toward the end of high school, I did get a very cool ski boat. And the only reason why I say it was cool because it was a Galastron and it rooster tailed. And if you don't know
That
what
is
rooster
cool.
tail, yeah, so I mean, yeah, it was
Yeah,
an extremely fast boat. I took my dad out once and I hit the throttle and he almost went through the back and off the back. But I think he still reminds me of that today, by the way.
oh, funny.
Yeah.
So is an outboard, what size motor? Do you remember what size
I,
motor was
I
on it?
don't. It was an inboard. It
Oh,
was
it was an
it
inboard.
was an inboard, and it was
Okay.
like an 18-footer, and it went fast.
It was a hauler, huh?
Yeah,
That's
it
radical.
was. Yes,
That's
yes.
hilarious.
I loved it. I love water sports. I love boats that go fast. I mean, I'm just, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit
Cool.
of
You would have loved our. We have a. We still have it, but it's seen better days. We have a 24-foot velocity powerboat,
okay.
and I put a pro charger on it. It was one of the fastest shallow V's on Puget Sound, man.
I
I
believe
I
it.
actually called it. I called it Pronombre Ochenta, which means 80 something in Spanish.
I love it.
I think
I love
the
it.
boat hauled butt. Yeah, but it wasn't a ski boat. But
Well,
anyway, okay. So you're did you go to okay? So after high school, what's next for Lanie?
so then I went to college and I stayed relatively close to home. And, you know, some things had personally happened. You know, my mother was, by herself and I didn't want to travel that far. So I went to college locally to the College of St. Elizabeth, which I think has even changed names now. It's like a university. It was, a smaller school and I could get home in 35, 40 minutes if I had to. So a lot of times on the weekends, the campus would clear out, and I would go back home. And
Cool.
so I graduated, with a bachelor's degree, a BA, and yeah, it was also an experience. I did so for many years. I was on the swim team there, and
Okay.
I actually did get my lifeguard certification and my WSI water instructor, right? So I could teach swim
Okay.
lessons, which I was doing during the summer as well. So, yeah, so I swam in college. I also actually played tennis in college too. Again, not very good. Like, if you're in the fifth or sixth court, you're kind of detached from everybody. And usually I was in five or six out on the sidelines, but trying my hardest. And, I enjoy even today, I'm rucking on the team with Chris Breen from Legacy, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
always watching where my name is on the amount of miles I've rucked because I'm still that competitive. And I get to laugh about it, though. I mean, it's okay. Listen, that's all
Good
right.
for
There's
you.
nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So what was your major in
So I was,
college?
yeah, I was a major in psychology, and
Ah,
which
good for you.
has become very tactfully purposeful in sales, right?
100%. That's what I
Yeah,
was about to took the words
very,
right out of my mouth.
yep.
That's
Very
awesome. And so after college, what's next for you?
Yeah, good question. Like most people, I kind of stirred around a little bit. Actually, I got into, oddly enough, relocation because it was sort of a counseling position where you would handhold people relocating for companies and getting them set up in new areas for temporary housing or for permanent housing. So I did relocation for quite some time, and that blended into some temporary housing positions, which blended into property management. And then around 2000, I sort of had a personal thing that happened, and I gained a lot of clarity for my life. And within a short period of time, I got into the construction business by working for a company called ImproveNet, which was actually out of California, very similar to like an Angie's List, a Service Magic. It was a platform for contractors to get leads. And so out of the blue, I find myself, in this sales role selling leads to contractors. And
Okay.
really, that's how my career started in the whole construction industry. And, we're talking 25 years ago, right? So I'm fairly a bit younger than I am today. And but I was assertive, and I was like, when they printed the list of how many leads people sold, I needed my name to be to the top, right? Because that competitive nature. So as the business, folded into itself because it really wasn't an equitable position or business to be in, I was one of the last to go. And funny as it may seem, and I always date myself when I say this, but Monster, which was a big catalyst for finding jobs, Monster had a position open as the Trex sales representative for Northern New Jersey. And so I actually applied and was afforded the opportunity to step into the decking business. And this
Hmm.
is very early on when products are so different than what they are today.
Oh man, you
Um,
telling me allocation city?
Allocation and just mold and mildew, wrong
Oh,
installation. I mean, it was A to Z that you can think of. And it was so, first of all, I'm a 20 something female walking onto a job site with a bunch of men.
right.
What is this woman, girl, whatever, gonna say to me that's gonna convince me that I should even give her 5 minutes? Right. So I really, really had to work hard on becoming savvy enough to speak the language of deck builders to show that,
Yeah.
like, if you needed to dig a footing, I was happy to help. I was
Yeah.
I was willing to get my hands dirty, right, and speak their language and teach them things that maybe they weren't totally aware of, right?
Love that.
And that
Love
was,
that.
yeah, I mean, because don't forget, being a woman in a man's world, and I know it's not as prevalent, but it still exists, right? And
Hmm.
I'm in my 20s, right? So I really had to go above and beyond, like, to prove that I could understand and do what they could do, right? So we've done through Nadra multiple decks for a soldier. I'm out there, building, working with the saw, nailing things, putting joist tape on, doing whatever I had to do, right? Because look, if I know it, then I can sell it, right? If I don't know it, I can't sell it, right? But today, I'm very relatable to people because I've been on all different aspects of deck building, deck selling, manufacturing, distribution. You know,
Hands on, man. I love it. And some of the people that I have the highest regard for are the ones that pound the pavement. Like if I'm out on a wet, dirty, nasty job site, pouring down rain, and a factory rep comes in and wants to show me their product that I may or may never use, they just want the opportunity to see it or show it to me. Those are the people I'll give 10 minutes, 20, whatever, an hour or two,
mhm,
because they're right next to me, standing underneath my tent,
right.
like watching gallons of water pour down, in the mud.
Oh, I've been there. I've been
I
there.
love it.
I've been there.
100%. So you got this position at Trex.
hmm That's where it all
Okay.
started, really.
And what was your entry position?
So I was a sales rep for Northern New Jersey, and at that time there was, look, I mean, I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of turnover because people were
Hmm.
very frustrated with the expectation of what the product could do and what it actually was doing, which meant mold and mildew calls on a fairly regular basis, which meant black spots and trying to handle all that. And it was frustrating. I'm not going to lie. And so, I hung in there as
Here's some
long as I
bleach.
could. What's that?
Yeah. Here's some bleach.
Right, right. And I mean, I heard the craziest stories. I mean, it was people that lived in Staten Island were like, "Oh, it's got to be the planes dropping something going above our island."
The chemtrails.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't think so. I think it's mold and mildew because have you ever cleaned your deck? Well, no. Right. Well, everybody told me
It,
it was maintenance free. I'm like,
no.
right. Do you take your car to the car wash? Right. So, but the expectation was crazy, Jason. I mean, people
Yeah. No,
thought,
I get it.
like,
I actually think Trex made a mistake by using that word in their marketing
yeah,
at one point, and then it all changed. And he goes, "We're not maintenance free anymore. We're low maintenance."
right, right. Which is, but but people, Jason, still hear what they want to hear, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're selling me on this awesome composite, right, I'm still thinking like, yeah, I don't really have to do anything to it, right? And then you go out there and, like, so this ties into what I'm talking about, like, and then you walk out there and the deck was built with like a 10 penny nail and all the gaps have closed, right?
And they put it 24 inches on center.
To make matters so much better.
Yeah. We're gonna install it just like wood.
Exactly. 24, butt tight. Don't worry, you're
Yep.
not going to have one problem. So there are,
Forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. Forget about it, especially in Long Island or Brooklyn. But yeah, there was a lot of things that required some learning in the beginning, right? Like, we're not going to
Hmm.
put this down like wood, right? We got to, and or, hey, the boards are super tight. What do we do now? Right. And so living through all that wasn't that easy, right?
Builds
Because
character.
it does. It does. I mean, look at me today, right? I'm a character,
Hey,
or maybe
gangster.
character. Caricature, the ones you draw. I think
Caricature.
that's the
Yeah,
one I'm
yeah.
trying to say. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
All
But
right, so
yeah,
it's 2020-ish.
hmm
2020-ish. You're working at Trex.
oh
Have
no, no,
you
we're talking early 2000s. We're already at
Oh, excuse
2020.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Not 2020. What am
yeah.
I
No,
thinking? It's
early
early for me.
2000s. Right. It's like
Early 2000s. I
2002.
apologize. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
2000, 2002. Yeah, I'm
yep.
getting my timeline mixed up here. And you're working at Trex. Have you started working out yet?
So I did start working out and I started training with a trainer. And then I was like, one day, I think I want to try a bodybuilding show because I want to be competitive enough to help myself grow in every avenue, right? Because it takes a lot of discipline to do the diet, to learn a posing routine and to learn how to pose.
Hmm?
And I figured, God, if I could get up on a stage posing in front of a bunch of strangers, I mean, like, then it creates a limitless environment for me. Like, I'm not really afraid to do much after that, right? Because
Yeah.
that's pretty humbling, right?
Yeah. Here I
And
am.
yeah, so I think I did my first show. Maybe it was 2004. 2000. So I did a show in 2004, 2006, and I think 8 and 10. I think my last show was in 2010. Um, and I took it really as far as my body would let me.
Hmm.
It's very, I'd say, to work in a high stress sales environment and try to eat exactly on time, everything weighed out. I mean, it just takes an enormous amount of discipline, and
You are
then
going to any trade shows or anything, that's got to be murder.
it's at one year, I'll give you an example. One year so following Trex, I moved into distribution. And so I was
Okay.
working for Parksite, or at that time
Okay.
PPW. So I was working for Parksite, and they had a sales meeting, and it was like in Miami or somewhere down south in Florida. All I know is that I had to freeze all my food and actually mail it down there because I couldn't miss my meals or my weighed out meals. And I remember schlepping this bag on the bus and just, it was like leaking everywhere. I mean, and that's how crazy it is if you're dialed into getting ready for a show. Like, you cannot you can make a mistake, but you're going to pay for it. Right. So, I mean, you have to be like so pointed on your food, right? It's not even so much the working out at that point. It's the food. So I remember
So give me an
trying to,
example. Give me an example of what you're creating, making, eating for a
okay,
day in a day
you
of
see this
working
white
out.
piece of paper? You
Yeah.
could eat that because that's about what it tastes like. Um, yeah, I mean, it's no seasoning. It's like chicken and asparagus, but no seasoning on anything. You think like, chicken and asparagus not that bad, but when you have to do it for 12 to 16 weeks, it's pretty bad.
Are you having that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Sometimes because eggs get taken out of the equation, right? Because eggs have sodium, right? So you really, I mean, you are just, you
You're
know, you're
purging
taking every
sodium
bit
out
of
of your system.
salt out of your system, every bit of water, every bit of
But doesn't that make you
subcutaneous
cramp
fat.
up at all?
Yes.
How do you do that without cramping up?
Yeah, you got to be very careful. Very careful. I mean, I've known
Huh.
people that have dieted all the way into the show and cramped out and not been able to make it on stage. It's crazy.
Oh.
I know.
I could imagine. I could imagine that.
Totally
That's
crazy.
vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
okay, so how old were you when you started working out, and then how old were you when you started your first competition?
So I was probably, what would I say, like 26, 27. But prior to that, before having a trainer, I was always dabbling in the gym. Like after college, I was like, went to the Y and lifted weights, but haphazardly. And then, after 2000, when I was like, look, I need to really take care of myself better, emotionally grow, is when I got the trainer and started investing in myself. And, so yeah, I was around 26. And then I would say by 28, 29, I started doing my first show. And so my last show was 15 years ago. So, you know,
So was tanning bed or tanning self tanners? Was that a big part of
mhm,
the regimen?
100%. Yeah. So you'd have to, and I always laugh because if he ever, and I might have to tell him to listen to this, but we would be actually so dehydrated and dieted out. We'd be like with very little clothes on, painting each other in the shower, right? But we're actually like, it's not even stimulating is what I'm trying to say, I guess, in a way, without like being awkward about it. But it's like
Yeah.
we're so tired that we're just like if you can imagine like with half an eye like brushing each other with this paint, right? And he's got a sock on and I have band-aids in places. So you can imagine all of a sudden like people are like I'm not listening to this anymore. No, but it's the point that like you're so like spent, right? Like you're giving it whatever you got to like even paint yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because
And is
you
that a one
can't.
time shot? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Is it a one-time shot? As far as the painting, you got to do layers upon layers, so it's multiple times. And
Okay.
trying to find volunteers to paint you is not an easy task. You would think that like people would want to paint you, but they're like, no, I don't want to get interested in this, right? It's and then
Oh
any
man.
clothes, any sheets, everything turns orange
Mm-hmm.
from the paint. And it's like,
Wow.
yeah, like post show, you look awesome, right? Because now you got like this awesome looking tan, you're all buffed out and you're all lean. That lasts for a pretty short period of time. I mean, you know, what happened to me is I would be done with the show and I'd want to inhale so much food that I would actually get sick, right? Because it's like my body couldn't handle it. Your stomach shrinks.
Yeah. What was your go to meal though after a show?
Oh man, I was like, give me the biggest cheeseburger and fries.
Good for you.
Yeah, well, you live through it, and yeah, it just didn't do me any favors, right? Trying to stuff my face after being,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
you got
could
to weigh in
imagine.
for that too. You have to weigh in,
Uh
so you want to be
boy,
at
all
your
kinds of
lightest.
humbling things going on over here.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes, very humbling,
Did you
very
ever
humbling.
miss weight? Did you ever
No,
miss a weight?
no. I mean,
No?
I think I started middleweight and I probably finished at heavyweight because obviously you put on more muscle, it weighs more. I
Of
mean,
course.
you can only get your body down so much. I mean, people were like, "Are you dying because you look really frail?" I'm like, "No, I'm getting ready for a show. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate the compliment." But I look
Yeah,
back
was that a
now and I look
compliment?
at the pictures. I have a couple on Facebook and whatever, but uh, and I go, "Oh God, I do feel slightly larger than what I looked like back then." But also with age, comes time, and with time
Of course.
comes, you know, different mechanics of your body, and it doesn't work like it used to.
Gravity.
Mm, there's that thing called gravity.
Dang it.
I know. I know.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
your professional bodybuilding career spanned about 10 years, you say, or
I'd say probably more like 8. And I don't even know if
8?
I go professional, right? Because I could not get to that level. I went to nationals in Atlanta, Georgia, and I remember feeling like the smallest woman in the place. Yeah.
I don't know, Lanie. Somebody that much dedication, I think kind of you got to be at least a semi-pro if anything because that takes so much commitment.
Yep.
Most people can't do it, especially today nowadays. There's just there's no way.
It's
Like
hard.
it that
It's hard.
it is really difficult to commit to that kind of a lifestyle.
Yep. And then I thought, hey, what am I going to do next?
Yeah.
Are you
And
ready?
so during this whole period, like you're at Parksite. Let's pick up from there now,
Yeah.
okay?
hmm
So you go from Trex to Parksite?
I spent a year in the plumbing industry, not for me.
Mhm.
And then Parksite always had Tyvek sales specialists out in the market, and they said, "Hey, Lanie, we want you as our deck specialist. We want you to go out, talk to the dealer base, talk to contractors, help funnel business back to us through the retail lumberyard." So it was mirroring the Tyvek specialist model, if you will. And so I worked there for a number of years, and you know, as things have it, things change with products and so forth. And then I went from there, moved over to U.S. Lumber, which was then Mid-State Lumber. So, and I worked there for a number of years. And I turned 40, and I said, "Hey, you know what? I am done with all this. I'm going to start my own business." And I left. I turned 40. I bought a new house, and I was starting my own business. And unfortunately, it was in the mix of the whole Hurricane Sandy thing happening with my parents living down the shore, and they had to move up here. And so they stayed with me, and my mother was getting iller, is what I would say. And so I really was having a hard time sustaining a business and tending to her needs. So I did that for about a year, and it didn't work out really all that well for me because of the circumstances. And I had great people that helped me, and Jen from Phoenix, and I worked for Gus at Barrett Outdoors. So I actually was selling deck projects at that point, and a multitude of other products. And here's the funny thing: the boss that hired me at Trex was now the regional manager at Fibron, and he had said, "Look, we really would like to have you come work for us." And so I went to work at Fibron as a territory manager. And, I mean, based on the foundational pieces that I had from Trex, I would say it was not easy, but I knew how to work it very well. And I was like a little bit bored. I was like, "Guys, like, is there any advancement opportunity here?" And I seemed to stagnate very quickly after a couple years there. And then Ken O'Neill from Oldcastle approached me and said, "Hey, Moisture Shield's a new product for Oldcastle because we are a very concrete paver centric business, and we'd like you to come over here and work with us and really help us with the decking line." And so I spent then 5 years at Oldcastle, and in 5 years I had five different roles, because I was a plug and play kind of person where they would find that I worked well in this spot and this spot. The last spot I was working for them at was as a national contractor salesperson. So I actually was spending time with people like Jason Varney in Tennessee and covering the country. And so I enjoyed that. But my need is that I wanted to start writing business. So my dad was always a very successful businessman, and I've always had that business acumen in me. And I felt like, being tethered to one product as a manufacturer's rep, which is the right thing to do, does not enable me to provide the best available option for people. So I had seen that Decks and Docks was coming up north, and they caught my eye. And I said, "How would you like it if, I came to sell for you because I have all this knowledge in decking, and now I can offer it to the deck builders that I've been working with for all these decades and offer them solutions that fit their business," right? And so really that's where I am today, right here as a salesperson. But it's been a lot of evolutions to get to this point, right? And
Yeah. I mean, you worked for one of the biggest, I mean, jillions of dollars, this Oldcastle, they are like
mhm.
a financial powerhouse. And but I can understand complacency, and how that might play a role in your, especially as competitive as you come across.
What gave you that idea,
How
Jason?
no, hey, and I think that's an amazing trait to have, because I could sidebar on this, but I think I'm going to stay focused. And okay, we'll say it this way: there's other people in the industry. Some of them are responsible for me in certain terms, I'll say, and they're very competitive, and it kind of restricts what I can and can't say on the internet sometimes,
Right.
you know. And so I get it. I see where you're at and why, like, hey, this is a great place to work. I really like it here, but I'm sitting idle, or you're shuffling me around to all these different positions, and I really, it's not really where I want to be,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So I get that. Because just because you work for a company that would have your financial salary for the rest of your life, if you decided to work there to retirement, it doesn't necessarily mean that's where you're going to be happy.
That's true. That's true. And
No. Yeah. So okay. So tell me a little bit more about your new venture, um, and a little bit more about the company, because I keep hearing more and more and more about it. But let's go. I'm on the West Coast,
right.
and I'm in the upper left of the West Coast, which I find out about things a lot later sometimes than a lot of people do, and things get here. It
Hmm.
takes longer for stuff to get over here, especially when it's hot on the east. It takes a minute for it sometimes to get to the west. So this company that, and we briefly spoke about it, um, and it's Deck and Dock.
Dex and Docs, correct. And not Jason
Decks and
Barney,
Docks.
Doc, and Dex. Right? It's
Yeah,
really
he
crazy.
corrected me a couple weeks ago on
I
that.
know.
I was getting them mixed up.
It's crazy. I
But
know.
yeah, it is a little bit. So, but and that's funny because he purchases from you guys.
Right, right. We are a supplier in Tennessee. Correct.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay. So, tell me a little bit about Decks and Docks, and if you know the history or the backstory about that, and then and then get a little bit deeper into like what your role is with them today.
Okay. I mean, look, I've been there about a year and a half, right? So I haven't been there multitudes of years, but obviously a very strong company in the Southeast, started in the Florida market. We have, I don't know, 20 plus yards down there. And then we started navigating north from Florida and obviously going after the specialty of being in the dock and deck business, whereas we can supply everything related to docks and then everything related to decks. And the two blend very well in terms of making sense and offering it to that clientele. And so some of the yards that we have obtained are, were a different company name and we acquired them. And then there are some yards that are greenfield where we've started fresh and new. I am personally responsible for Virginia North up through Rhode Island. And so I have contacts, in Virginia all the way up through Rhode Island. And so what does it look like for Lanie every day? I am pounding the pavement, talking to contractors, trying to help them understand that as a supplier I can create value for them. I was thinking about it, and I was talking to April Edwards a little bit about it, and how do I define the value that I bring to somebody? And really, I'm a resource connector, which I think is probably the best way of explaining myself. So, somebody new in the business that wants to grow, as a deck builder, I can connect them to all the right people, and I would say that that's probably true for a good chunk of the country because of my vast, experience in so many different parts of the business, right? So, again, this new gentleman's like, he came to the Deck Expo with me. Actually, you took a picture with him, and he was elated. And he's like,
Oh.
"You got to send me one of those. You got to send me one of those." And I was equally as happy to have the picture with you. And but he's new to the business. He's trying to get going, and I'm connecting him left and right to all the right people, right? Because success breeds success. I mean, I know that everybody in the business wants to help other people be successful, and people have carried me when I've been at low times, right, where I've struggled a bit, and it's all been, authentically given, right? It's there are a lot of good people in this business, right? And so at the end of the day, I hope that I can transcribe to deck builders the value that I can give them by working with me. It's not just about buying products, it's about being a partner in your business. And so for me, the biggest struggle, Jason, is for people that don't give me the opportunity to even get to that point. So there are a lot of deck builders outside this market that have no idea who I am. There are deck builders even in this market that really don't know me, right? And it takes time to cultivate that. If I have the opportunity to get in front of them for a couple minutes, I think that they can understand the value that I bring, whether they do business with me or not, right? But again, being the vast amount of, roles that I've had, the products I've sold. I mean, I'm always going to give them the best solution, and I'm always going to be honest with them. My biggest thing is my integrity, and I'm also humble enough to tell you when I'm not right. And I have messed up, right?
Haven't we all?
Right, but I'm authentic about it, right? And I'm genuine, and
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
absolutely.
look, what you see is what you get, and if you don't, and people are like, look, at the end of the day, like I gave this guy a book or whatever. I'm like, look, I don't care you haven't given me an order. It's not about that. I want to give you something to help you in your business, right? Hopefully the orders come. And if they don't, so be it. I did it for the right reason, and a lot of that, I mean, and it kind of ties into the whole Nadra philosophy, right? Us working together, doing Dex First Soldier, and really helping the industry grow within itself, right? Which I was an intricate part of getting it going in the Northeast back in the day with Pops and Margie. We were all driving each other crazy. But it's been a great ride, and I'm grateful to be part of an awesome industry with a lot of awesome people. And having the opportunity to really spend some time with you, Jason, has been awesome and great.
Yeah, yeah, as well. It's fun to hear the the history of where you're at, where you are now, and then where are you going.
Hmm.
If you had a prediction, let's just say for the next, I'll say 5 years, but maybe that's just stretch. But do you have any prediction or insights on where you might be heading for the future?
I'm actually very content in growing the deck builder base in what I'm doing today.
Hmm.
I don't see that changing really much from what it is. I mean, this is, I believe, my last role in the industry as I ride off into the sunset, hoping that I can, I'm always looking to really groom somebody to come in behind me and really, hand off that book of business. So I'll continue to do that, looking to mentor somebody. And but again, I don't see myself changing much from where I am today. I am very good and content. Now, what I will tell you though, the one thing I will continue to do, Jason, is I will continue to try to get multiple balls in that slalom ski course.
Hey, I love it. Tell me about your new boat.
I'm gonna go to the boat show this February and see what what picks up my eyes. And if
Hmm.
anything, look, I belong to a ski club, Twin Lakes, up in New York. We have a driver, we have the ski course, schedule a time to go up there. That works perfect. So I don't even know if I'm gonna invest in another ski boat. I might just stick with the ski plan. I also go
Hmm.
to Peace, Love, and Water Skiing, which is another spot in Bumpus, Virginia, which I actually very much enjoy going to that spot as well. And I'm happy to tell you that I ended the season going around 5 balls. So I almost
Nice.
got 6, but I fell short. But they just sent out the USA Water Skiing notification, and I actually, when we did the competition, I got only 1 ball, and then I fell. But at least I'm on the board for 1 ball, so I'm hoping hoping to do better next year. Um,
Well, you can improve upon that, right?
that's what. Well, if I may be so humble, the first year I tried, I was so nervous. So when you do grassroots, because there's different levels of slalom skiing, when you do grassroots, it's actually 4 runs or 2 falls. So when I got behind the boat, they said, look, don't forget it's 2 falls or 4 runs. I go to get up, I fall over. They said, all right, we're going to pull you to a different spot. I go to get up, I fall over again. Done.
Mm,
Yeah. So that led to improvement of 1 ball this year.
excellent.
And I didn't fall.
See, it's a slow progression.
It is. And I did
Beautiful.
a, I did a little competition down in Bumpus. That was fun. It was the Buoy Fest, Bumpus Buoy Fest. So I dressed up in an avatar costume skiing down the slalom ski lake. I think that was the funnest that I had skiing because I just really enjoyed being in costume and with the tail flapping behind me.
Oh, hilarious.
I
So, what
know.
do you ski on right now?
I actually ski on a KD, and Corey Vaughn represents KD, and I have enjoyed really my KD ski. I think it's the right one. I do have a wrap ski from Jody Fisher down in Florida. It's a little bit more of an
Cool.
advanced ski. I'm not there yet, but I'm
Hmm.
trying. I'm trying, and my goal is at
Yeah.
least 2 balls in
Oh, you
2026.
got this. You
I
got this.
know,
And
really.
what length is the rope?
So it's 15 off, so it's 60 feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're skiing 15 off. Is that
Yep.
competition? Is that the competition
It is
standard
for
or?
women as a starting point, but I have to up my miles per hour. I dropped it a little bit to try to get a little bit better around the balls. So
Huh?
I got to up that a little bit, but it's all a process. As
Huh?
as you know, right? I'm historically a wild crazy woman on a ski going spraying people, right? So you got to like pull all that back and you go, "Oh
Yeah.
man, this is like totally different." So, and I'll tell you a quick story and then I'll stop talking. But so I took one of my friends that also tries to ski with me during the summer. I said, look, let's go up and try the ski course. By the time he got up on the ski, he was already at the other side of the lake. He's like, I saw the balls flying by me. I didn't even know what happened because it happened so fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to
It's
set up
so fast.
pre-gate and get going,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he's like, "Oh man, I was already dropping at the other end before I even noticed that I was like up and all the balls went by." That was so funny. I just appreciated it so much, right? Because the things we take for granted, right?
Yeah. You're cutting a lot faster past the wake than you realize when you're
Hmm.
just out freeballing out on the lake.
Oh, no
Um,
doubt.
our instructor used to he'd put tension on the rope
Yep.
when he wanted you to cut. He'd hit the rope, and
Yep.
then I'm like, "Whoa, I'm just barely past the wake," and
I,
he's like, "Cut,
I know.
hurry up,
I know.
you're gonna miss the other five." I
Exactly.
was like, "Yeah,
I know.
I always did. Yeah, I never got it."
Yeah. Well.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So okay, wow. You have this cool membership. See, I don't, I'm sure they're around here too. I just don't know anything about them, but that is really awesome. What else do you want to tell me about your journey, Lanie? Have we missed anything?
Oh, we missed a couple
What
things.
kind of music? What kind of Okay, let's go.
Forget the music thing. So
Yeah, okay.
after the bodybuilding, I had to find something else to competitively do with my time.
Okay.
Now you're really going to get a hoot out of this one. So I started arm wrestling. And
What?
yes, I started arm wrestling. There's proof out there. I had
Wow.
like the WAL shirt or whatever. Um, so there's actually a video out there called the long arm of Hank, and it's all an interview with me doing arm wrestling. Yeah, and so I was going to practice and I loved it, right? Because don't forget, here's the funny part, Jason. Pulling on the slalom ski rope, my left arm was so strong from cutting through the wake that my left
Mm-hmm.
arm, even though I'm right-handed, was so much stronger. And so doing practice, and then I go to my first competition and I win overall left arm.
Cool.
And then I go back to practice. This is where the story gets a little sad, so you might need a box of tissues. Um, we were practicing and I knew the girl was not she didn't have her arm position in the right position, and she kept going, and she actually broke her arm in two places in my hand.
Oh. Ow.
Yeah, and that
Oh my
was the end
goodness.
of my arm wrestling career, because I every time I would grab somebody's hand, I would automatically think I'm going to break their arm.
So
Yeah.
when you're a competitive arm wrestler,
Hmm.
do you guys cup hands like this,
They usually, well, you got to have your elbows in a little bit more, and
or do you lock the thumbs? I can't do it on camera, but
yeah, you kind of lock. So usually the judge will set up your hands before you cut.
okay,
They'll
okay.
usually get you in the right position, and then it's up to you guys. So usually
Because
the judge.
I think one's more like a wrist push, and then one's more like a thumb thing,
Yeah, I mean it depends how
depending on
you want to
how.
get. Yeah, if
I
you.
used to arm wrestle in high school a lot. I was
Mhm.
really strong. I never lost, but my tendons are so bad and stuff. I'm afraid I'm gonna blow something out, so I quit.
Yeah, I mean,
But that just wow, man, that's Lanie. Oh man, that's too bad
I
because
know. I really liked it too. I mean, I was like really into it and I was loving it. And, but once that happened, I just, yeah, I emotionally could not get over it. And I was just like, yeah, this is, I got to
okay,
move on from this. And so, yeah, I mean, now I'm more into the slalom skiing and, enjoying that and being competitive with that in my own head and, seeing how many balls I'm kind of a ball chaser, Jason.
yeah. Hey man, it's cool. It's really cool because I that just resonates home with me because I used to do a lot of slalom skiing. I mean, we used to have a 17-foot. I can't remember the name of the whole design, but it was a 115 Merc on the outboard. And I got to the point where I was tugging so hard on that boat. My wife's like, if you tug any harder, we're going to stall, And I got okay. I was never a course skier though, but just out on the Lake Hopatcong and a little bit here and there. And I have a lot of affection for it, even though I haven't done it in forever. And I've beat my body up so bad building decks that I don't even know if I can anymore. But it's really cool to hear. Is there a particular boat that you like to be pulled behind, or are they all the same to you,
They are
or is there a
not all
certain
the
type of
same.
wake? No, I
mean,
know. I'm just
Yeah, I mean the
go ahead.
Mastercraft. Yeah, Mastercraft is a great. I mean, the ski boat I had was amazing. The wake off of it was just so little. It was a tournament team
Hmm.
boat, and it just was designed for
Nice.
that. Yeah, the Mastercraft. I love the Mastercraft. I'm trying to remember what is the other main boat that we.
There's Ski Nautique, Ski
Yeah,
Supreme, Mastercraft.
yeah, it might be a Nautique as well, but yeah, either one of those. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're gonna talk a little bit more about boats and the evolution of those, but we're gonna have to jump over to our Patreon channel to do so. Lainie Slevin. Wow. Great backstory. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about our industry as well. But thank you so much for being on our podcast. What a great set of answers you've supplied us with for this section, and thank you so much for being here today, spending a little bit of time with us today on the Dr. Dex podcast. And if you guys want to hear more from Lainie or about what she's up to nowadays, jump over to our Patreon channel and hit that subscribe button. It's only $5 a month, guys. Come on. Let's support this channel. That way we can continue giving these free podcasts. Lainie, thank you so much from Dex and Docs.
You got it right. And the other
How
thing,
do we get a hold of you?
yeah, the other thing I just wanted to let you know is I do have finally my own personal website, Duchess of Decking.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, with a T.
DuchessofDecking.com.
You got it, with a T, duchessofdecking.com.
Okay, so that's one way we can find you. Is there any
Yep.
other way that you want people that hear this, if they want to reach out to you? Is there anything else you want to give out as far as contact information or anything like that?
Sure, they can find me, Lanie Sleppin, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Those would be the couple. And then I would just tell them I do get quite a number of messages. If they're going to message me on Facebook, like they have to indicate it's from the podcast, or else, you know, it gets kind of
Great.
lost in the
I
shuffle
get
of
it.
everything. So, but this has been like
Okay.
amazing, and I've really enjoyed it, Jason. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Calvin, hit that outro music. And Lainie, thanks again, guys. If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay?
Please.
And Lainie, thank you one more time. Have a great day, and we will see you guys over in the Patreon. All right, guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. Bye.